Directed by the seer, I flew high above the northern wastes to Malek's bastion. There I discovered a scheme set in motion by the Hilden. They had begun using soul mechanisms to fuse their spirits to empty suits of armor in an attempt to bring forth a legion of warriors to do their bidding in Nosgoth. I took the liberty of halting the Hilden plan and destroyed the machines. I had arrived in the era in which Nosgoth was a wasteland, and nothing more than a corpse was my empire. I wasted no time and returned to the sanctuary of the clans. There I was met by a group of vampire worshippers, led by the priestess, awaiting my return. Deep within the frozen mountain beneath Malek's bastion, I found a lost forge. It contained a dark emblem aligned with the powers of mind, nature, states, and death. Together with the balance emblem, a complete key was formed. I had arrived in the demon dimension, and in the era I now occupied, this realm did little to make Nosgoth's destruction more apparent. The seer had spoken of another pebble in the pond of my destiny, a riddle which laid rest in a forgotten place. And so I made haste to the Lake of the Dead, where echoes of lost monuments could still be seen. It was there, in the dark heart of this place, that the seer said my answers would lie. It was there that I discovered a dark prophecy. There in the central temple was a vast vortex, endlessly turning. Along the walls were murals depicting the fall of Nosgoth. A council of winged ancients who served the passing of all living things through a natural engine of life. The prophets of the council foretold of a dark entity, one that would cause the fall of Nosgoth and feed on the spiritual strength of the land. Its hunger became like a mountain of fire, consuming all life. To protect their souls from this terrible threat, their god promised a cycle of rebirth which would sustain them as well as the world, keeping them far from their fate. In retaliation against the Hilden and to help preserve the life of the world, the ancients raised the Pillars. The salvation of the Pillars was predicted to come in a time of great darkness. A scion would come to deliver Nosgoth from the evil corruption and reunite the vampires as guardians. I recognized this monstrosity from the spirit chamber. It didn't seem the ancients knew that the corruption which would stop at nothing to prevent my endeavor was the very entity which they worshipped. The irony of this false god's trickery was as sickening as cold blood licked from the floor. So it unfolds. It had wanted me dead because it knew that my coming signified its ultimate destruction. With such secrets hidden within this place, the coincidence of the lost city's disappearance from the world no longer seemed so convenient. The discovery of its contents had clearly been the fear of this enemy, and its best chance was to conceal it forever. This armed me with a sense of even greater purpose. And now, all the pieces flowed together like waterfalls, conjoining with a wheel of destiny. I felt the need to press on and discover what other secrets had been laid to rest here over the centuries. Through further exploration of the temple, I found two ghastly creatures, bound within a strange pit. Step back, beast, unless you desire the release of death.
I do, Kain. The centuries here have brought us anguish and misery.
Kain?
Yes, that name. I remember.
Janos had been cast into the demon dimension by the Sarafan Lord nearly 2,000 years ago. Somehow, after all this, he still lived.
The scion of balance. I knew in my heart that this day would arrive. You must fulfill your destiny, Kain. We must retrieve the Nexus Stone. There is little hope without it.
The Nexus Stone.
When the Hilden Gate was closed, the stone was retrieved in this dimension by one of the Hilden leaders. He took it to a chamber beyond that terrace. Come, Vorador. We must follow Kain.
Vorador? But how?
When the gate was closed, Vorador was within the Hilden city. He became imprisoned here as well. Together we have waited in anguish. The Hilden took us to this place, leaving us to our dissension, waiting for a time when they could make use of us, merely as pawns in their game of deceit.
The hour has come for deliverance from this darkness. And so we left the demon dimension and returned to the sanctuary of the clans.
Demon!
Wait. These two are allies, merely deformed vampires. Give them blood so they can return to their true form. Do not leave this place.
Lord Kain.
We must hurry. Damnation of this magnitude leaves little time for restoration.
I shall return shortly. I traveled once more to the Lake of the Dead. The lost city was nowhere to be seen. In this plane of existence, only the abyss remained. Raziel's spirit left the watery grave, manifesting a physical form in his venture to take revenge. But his true body remained in that place ever since his descent. In his last moments, Raziel had given me the Wraith Blade, imbued with the spirit element, freeing me of all corruption. From that moment, his soul remained with me. And now, with his corpse separated from the waters of the abyss, I could return Raziel's soul to its vessel of flesh. He would be whole once more.
What is this? Some twisted echo of past events?
Raziel, we have arrived at the moment of our highest calling. You must trust me, despite the unlikeliness of this resurrection.
This is the epitome of unlikeliness. And believe me, resurrection seems to be one of my greater qualities.
Kain, you failed to heed the dire warnings of fate itself. And now, the moment of your undoing has finally arrived. You will be as a skull crushed under the feet of a rushing army. You and your servants shall be wiped from the world you failed to save.
Was it always such a gluttonous mass of irritating pestilence?
You have no idea.
Do you see, Kain? Your defiance laid to waste in a mere instant. All your efforts were in vain. Your soul will be mine for eternity.
You've forgotten something. You don't have eternity.
The Nexus Stone can close gateways leading to other realms. The Abyss housed the constant vortex, the gateway to the spirit world. I would seek to cut the cancer from its heart. The secrets of the ancient world have been unearthed. The shackles of false histories destroyed. The vampires rescued from the places of their damnation. Together we stand as the authors of destiny. I am Kain, scion of balance. Legion of a new legacy.